Wow, it disconnected. My apologies. I hope you'll come back. What I was saying, for those of you who are rejoining that already heard the first part, I'll just start over. We're going to take our time today about styling and phrasing and what audiences really want to hear from singers and rappers. I've put out one on rapping. I put out one on simple pop. But today we're going to really get into a stylist. His name is ED Sheeran, doing very, very well at this year. I think he'll probably take away a lot of Grammys because of his great creativity. Now, I was mentioning that a lot of singers seem to believe that vocal technique is the most important thing because they hear their voice crack or someone says they sing a little flat. That's good. I mean, you should deal with those things, but the most important thing that we're really going to talk about today, and I'm going to do a little straight talk, really get into this because it's so much more important than singers have ever thought of, is the phrasing and the emotional content of the phrasing. And I've developed a program that I use to demonstrate today what I've learned and how I demonstrate it to you. I won't show you the program because this is not really a sales pitch, but the URL is there if you want to click on it. Anyway, hi Monet, so good to see you. All of you, thanks for joining. Like I said, sit back. This is going to take a little longer. You want to get some tea, some coffee, have a donut, whatever. We're really going to get into some meat and potatoes, if you will, is an old saying. And sorry I had to restart. But we're here, and everybody's joining, and that's great. Monet says, yes, I love your program. Thank you. Yeah, she has it. She's been using it. And basically the concept is that if you want to sing like a star, you've got to learn from the star themselves, not from a voice teacher, not from a guy who says, I sing like so-and-so, so learn it from me. No, that person can't sing like that artist. Not really. Even what I'm doing, I'm just imitating the artist in unison so that you can hear that it can be done. But it's the artist that we're going to learn from. And I've done one on rap, and I've done one on a simple pop song by however he says it, Neil or Niall Horan, and one on Drake, nice rapper. And with this program, somebody says, well, I don't want to learn how to do like rap, like Drake. So fine, pick anybody you want. Use Keith Sweat. Go back 20 years and get a rapper from that era. Doesn't matter. The program you can put on anyone you want to learn from. Maybe you want to learn from your neighbor. I don't care. But the point is, if you want to know new things, you've got to learn from the original artist, and you need to do it efficiently rather than just singing along. And I'm going to demonstrate here in a moment why that doesn't work and why we've been doing it and doing it and doing it, and why we keep doing it. I can't tell you. I finally got it myself, and I said, why did we keep doing that? It's very inefficient, and most of us never, ever actually figure out the genre that we love. Let's say it's blues, and you really want us to sing like a blues singer. You're not really figuring out what they're doing if all you're doing is singing along with them. You're not figuring out hard rock. You're not figuring out rap. You're not figuring out folk. You're not figuring out any of those things if all you're doing is putting the music on and singing along. It's a hell of a lot of fun. I used to do it. Sometimes I still do. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying that it's not how you're going to get to sound like a star. And I have a saying, you have to be a star before you can ever be a star. And what I mean by that is that if you don't sound like a star already, then how can you expect people to treat you like one? You got to sound like it already. Then you can get the money and the backing and get the marketing out there, get the record contract, get all the publicity that you need and blah, 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 so that you can get worldwide fans. But you got to have the product first. Without the product first, you ain't got nothing. How many people, and you can just click like, or you can actually write a comment. How many people have heard singers that were great but were boring? Okay, I'll make that rhetorical. A lot of you. I know so, because I've asked a whole lot of people over the years, and I've heard a lot of them themselves. You say, oh, they're great vocal technique. I wish I could do that, but I'd never pay to see them. Okay. Yeah, Leslie says yes. Okay, right on. I know you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to be a little more interactive so that we can have as much fun as possible. Okay, so let's take Ed's song, and I'm going to play a little bit of it. I chose one particular part of it based on the fact that he repeats the phrase twice. So I've isolated this, and can't see you guys right now. I'm looking at my software, but keep on commenting, doing the likes and stuff. I'll get back to it. So this part of Ed's song, he has very specifically written the exact same melody. Granted, there's different words, but the subtleties that I'm going to show you are not about the words. So let's just listen to him for a second on this one section of Perfect, his most current hit.
I never knew you were the someone waiting for me.
Okay, this is the part right here.
We were just kids when we fell.
This is the first time. Now he repeats it.
Not knowing what it was.
Okay, play that again. Now just listen.
I never knew you were
It's the last two sections. Here it comes.
waiting for me.
Right here.
We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
All right. Now, like I've done in my other ones, this is generally how we learn songs. We just sing along and hope that we get it right. That's not very smart. Okay, so we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. Okay, so I'm singing along.
I never knew you were the someone waiting for me.
Well, we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. Okay, now I'm singing a little bit bad on purpose. But point is you notice that, I'm going to look at you guys here for a minute again. The thing is, you notice that I didn't get it very right. It's just not the way to learn things. Looks like there's 5 comments now. Let me just look at them real quick here. Okay, yeah, I've seen those. All right. And without this information and just singing along like that, which I did for years, you think you're doing what Ed's doing because you can't really hear what you're doing as opposed to what he's doing because you're louder than he is, right? You're louder than he is. I mean, that's part of the fun. Or you're not as loud as he is, and that's not very fun either. Okay? In other words, you think you're getting somewhere, you go out to the karaoke club, you get your band, you write your songs, and you think you have all this feel and style because you've been singing along with Adele. And I'm going to deal with a recording of hers next time, which is really going to get deep because she is an amazing stylist. You notice here I'm going a little bit at a time. Simple. Rap is not simple, but it's not as complicated as Adele. It's not quite as complicated as Ed, for me anyway. Some rappers would disagree entirely, and they'd probably be right. Because that's what they do, and that's what they know, and that's what they love, and we should respect them for that. I found rapping to be quite an art. I've produced some rappers, and I'm telling you, there's a lot to it that you don't get just, again, putting on the recording and singing along. Monet says true. Thank you. Okay. Now, let's do that one more time. I'm going to play him and sing along with him just as I would many, many years ago when I was learning the wrong way. Just want to make sure that new people are catching this before I move on. Here we go. First part, I'm not singing. It's just this part where he repeats the phrase twice. We were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was. Okay? Again, you know that that's wrong. Okay. Now, this is what I've done, and now you can listen to it, where I have matched him phrase per phrase. And the reason you know that I've matched him is because you will hear 2 voices, but they'll sound like one. It'll sound like almost like Ed is singing along with himself. Okay? So I'm going to give you a little bit of an introduction in here, and then you'll hear me singing. Here you go.
Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
Okay, I'll play that one more time. I'm going to turn me down just a little bit so you can hear how close I am to Ed.
Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
Okay, so now I didn't edit that, so it doesn't sound like the absolute perfect blend. I don't want to trick you guys. Leslie says, I think you sound really good when singing along with the artist until I turn them off and sing alone. Yeah, that's another subject. It's true, Ed's a co-pilot for me right now. So, yeah, I do sound better with him. However, the next step would be, if I wanted to literally do a cover of his, is to make my own tracks or get a karaoke and then make sure that I'm sounding just like him without him. And that's another step. And the program that I made talks about that. But right now, I'm just trying to make a point. I'm trying to make a point that vocal technique is not what you guys need. Let me say that one more time. This is straight talk. Vocal technique is not what you need. It's good to have. I teach it. Clients of mine that have it are able to do more styles, be able to do different things. It's certainly not a bad thing. However, the ones that I work with that do well with audiences have the best rhythm, feel, and emotional expression. And that's true all over the world. Just listen to anybody you love, and you'll see. Okay, Jason says, haven't got nowhere. Laugh out loud, only a karaoke club. Okay, well, and that's all right. That's a beginning. We didn't have that in the old days. We had to have a band, or we had to sing with a pianist. If you're really serious about karaoke, then again, you need to know exactly what the artist is doing and get it exactly the way they're doing it. So when you go to karaoke, people go, "Oh my God, you're so good! You sound just like Ed Sheeran," or you sound exactly like Adele, or you sound exactly like Bob Dylan. Doesn't matter. What matters to them is that they love the fact that you can do it so well. Then, as an artist, and everybody's going to bring this up, well, I'm an artist. I don't want to sing like Ed Sheeran. Okay, fine. Learn what he knows and then add it to your own style. When you interview a great singer or read an interview, usually you don't get a chance, but if you read an interview about a great singer, they're going to tell you about their influences, right? Yeah, about their influences. Who did they listen to? Now, some people have incredible minds and great ears, and they do kind of pick these things up. But do you want to be one of the billion? Or do you want to be one of the normal who can really nail it? I'd like to hear singers that are always nailing it most of the time, just like most musicians that are average. And then there'll be special ones above them that we'll call stars, or it'll be the marketing money or whatever it takes to make that person to stars. Yeah, I'm sure John addresses this in the Blues Traveler. However, what is the methodology? Does Peter? What methodology can you use other than just listening to them in real time and singing along? And what I've done, and why I was able to get that as close as I did, was not by just singing along with them. And I did a lot of listening. I broke it down into very little specific things, and there's a lot of things that you're missing when you listen to a singer, and I'm going to show you what those are now. So when we just listen to Ed, we think we're hearing every little thing he does because it's going by fairly quickly. All right, so let's listen to him again, and then I will show you the things that he's doing different between two phrases that you didn't notice.
Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me, 'cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
Okay, now the two phrases that are actually identical is, when he starts off, we were just kids That's the phrase all by itself. But then he goes, when we fell in love. Okay, now the first time, he slurs directly down. So he's singing, we were just kids when. So direct drop. When. And then he sings, fell, with a direct slur and a little vibrato. Fell, fell. And then in is pretty much the same way. In, little less vibrato. And then love is not a direct slur. It's two notes. Love. Okay, let me repeat that. So he drops from we were just kids when. Remember that. That's a direct slur down. When we fell with a vibrato. Fell. And then in. And then love. Love. See? Two different notes there. All right. Now, what's different about the second part? Let me see what you guys are up to over here. Okay. What is different about the second part? Let's play it one more time. See if you can figure it out yourself. I'll show you. If you can figure it out yourself, that would be incredible. I would just love to know you. Okay, here it comes. Remember those two phrases. When we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me. 'Cause we were just kids when we fell in love, not knowing what it was.
Okay. All right. Now I'm going to explain to you how the second half was different. Very good, Monet. Very good. So you notice that there isn't quite as much slurring in the second section. Okay, now when he says, where before he said, we were just kids when, it was a direct drop. On this one he goes, we were just when we fell in love, not knowing, there's a riff. So there's three notes there. Not knowing. So even though it sounds very much like the first one, it's not the same. Why is that important? Because it's keeping us interested. We're loving the fact that this guy has got so many different emotions and expressions and ways of doing things. We don't have to know what they are, but we can feel them. And that's all that really matters, is that we can feel them as an audience. As a singer, you need to have a better idea about how you're doing things. Okay? Now, after he goes, not knowing with the riff, the next two lines, there's no vibrato and there's no slur. What is two words? Not knowing what, it, okay? And again, he holds it out, so it's like what it was is late compared to love. He says what it was. Well, and there's a slur in there, but it's right on the beat. What? Oh, and here's the other thing. He doesn't pronounce the T. So you look at the lyrics, it says what it was. But he sings what, he says what it was. So, what? No, he doesn't sing it that high. Let me get back to his key. Hold on here. I'll try to give you a little better example. All right. His key is...
Well, I never knew you were the someone waiting for me.
Okay, so there's a... So he's... We were just kids when... Again, it just drops. Fell in love. So I'm slowing it down a little bit for you so you can get it. Then he goes, not knowing... A riff. Not knowing what it... See, I didn't sing the T. What? So what it? And that gives me a little space before was. It's right on the end. What it was. See, it sounds more like an ending that way. If he's saying what it was, would have sounded more like just what he did the first time. Okay. Now, I'm just one person. I obviously have the experience to know what I'm talking about. Pay attention to that. because there's a lot of people you're paying attention to that don't know what they're talking about, and they don't have the background. They don't know the producers. They don't know the record labels. They don't know the artists. They don't know how things are really happening. But they'll tell you, you gotta have your voice so there's no break. Well, I'm all for that. I don't have a break. No break. Oh, okay. No worries. But that's not the number one thing that people care about. You can do that all day long and they'll laugh at you. They don't care. They care about the rhythmic feel, especially if it's dance music. And the Niall Horan was dance music. So that was really important. And of course, rap is dance music. So the way Drake raps is very important. It's very rhythmic. This song is a little bit more of a ballad, and it's not quite as important that the rhythm be exact. So he gets a chance to play and have a little more feel than if he was doing a straight on dance song to make you feel like you really want to dance. Okay. Gosh, I think I'm running out. I just want to make how important this is. Go check out my program. If you don't want to buy it, fine. At least learn about it. Learn about the fact that this is more important than what you think is important. Because as long as you think, just like Jason mentioned, just because you think you're doing well doesn't mean you're doing well. And your audience will never be honest with you and say, you really don't sound like that guy. They're going to be friendly and say, oh, I remember I was 17. Oh, you sound just like Led Zeppelin. Oh, you sound just like Robert Plant. Well, I can guarantee I did not. They probably couldn't even hear me anyway. That's a whole nother subject, electronic problems with singing, where people can't hear themselves. Anyway, so I think that's long enough, man. Jason, I'm glad you get it now. And I hope you guys will take this seriously and get a lot more going. Heather, I see you just joined. I'm going to close this out, but it's recorded here so you can listen and watch again. You won't be able to comment, but you can certainly learn the information I gave you here. And you also, if you want to go to my page, just Brad Chapman Voice Coach, and see the other videos I did, that's great too. Okay. All right. So Monet says it's a very, very small investment. She's right. And it's got a big payoff. Ever since she bought the program and she's been learning from it, her audience response has been going through the roof. And that's what you want. They're getting so strong now as a band, they're thinking about moving out here to LA and really making things happen. And they'll stir things up, I'm telling you. Because when you hear Monet sing, you cannot resist. I'm not saying that everybody loves Monet. I do. But you can't resist her. It's just she's got so much feel. She's got so emotion. She's got so much presence, as they talk about with performers. Okay, Leslie, you have a whole new approach. Oh, now to learning cover songs. I thought you said you had your own. I wanted to know what it was. So, if anybody knows something I don't know, I'm not a snob. Feel free to make me a note. It says there's 16 comments. I'm going to, I can't just open them up. I'll have to scroll. Let's see here. See if there's anything I missed. Yeah, just tuned in. Okay. Yes. Love your program. Yeah, got that. Okay. All right, guys. Had a great time with you. Please share this. Now, if you're competitive, you may not want to share it because maybe you don't want to have people know what you can do. I'm noticing some people are one person messaged me on this. Okay. I'll get back to that later. But what I'm talking about, I know I'm getting redundant now, so we'll close this off. What I'm talking about, I can't stress how important it is. I can't stress how much better my clients are doing now that they learn feel, rhythm, and emotion when all they used to learn from me was technique. I never changed their style, feel, or rhythm, but I didn't really help them learn how to do it. Now I'm telling you this is exactly how to do it, and you can do it with a home program, and you can do it safely because you can change the key to make sure you're not straining, and you can change the tempo. And if some of you know Logic and Pro Tools, you can do it there. I'm not stingy about it, but this program is super simple, really, really super simple. Anybody can run the software. So have a great time. And next week I'll be doing one on Adele, and we'll have really a lot of fun there because there's some amazing changes from phrase to phrase, even though, again, the melody is pretty much the same. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.